Let me just tweet it out so everybody join in here. 1 second. 1 second here. That, and that. Cool. There. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And what a day today. So, Wild
Awesome,
Wednesday,
awesome.
wasn't this? I almost forgot it was Wednesday. I was like, this is kind of a long Tuesday. It's just like one long day, but no, it's Wednesday for sure. So, and how do we know that? Well, a lot of that has to do with the topic for tonight. What was the blip in the stock market today? So, pretty cool stuff. We're going to be going over that. But before we do, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So, please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off at the market today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see where we're up to or down to here this evening. And then we're going to go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX here, guys, down about 12 points here today. Monthly charts still red off of the upper Bollinger Band. Weekly charts still an inside week. One of the big things we've been tracking here is this McClellan oscillator, right? It tends to get under minus 100 when there's a big pullback happening, right? So you get these big pullbacks out of that McClellan oscillator tends to be minus 100, right? It also can be used too to look for divergences to see when, or for overextended values when when the pullback is over. But in the meantime, that negative 100 really seems to have a weight on it. So we've been tracking that here. We're still over positive 100 right here. So we're not really too super duper worried yet, but we wouldn't be surprised if we get a pullback here to the mid Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. So we've definitely been tracking that. Daily chart, I mean, there was a lot of names today that bounced off of key moving averages, right? So one of those, right, is this SPX, right off of the 50-day moving average today. It was really cool, and I kind of showed this to you earlier, is that we bounced right off the macro upper trend line, right? So still bullish, still proven otherwise. And what I really like about this, and what's so cool about this, if you look, the trend line itself, right, continues to rise, right? So as you tag it in time, a lot of times it just puts in higher lows and continues to work its way. So if you go to the Elliott wave count here, right, there's a couple different counts that we've got. This is a bearish count right here. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 wave down to fill the gap below. Or are we looking at this alt count up here, which I think I finally got fixed here, is ABC down and basically a larger 1, 2, ABC down here, 1, 2, because we never took out the start of wave 1. So it is possible that this move up here is the beginning of a larger wave 3 up. So we really need to pay attention to the price action here over the next couple days, next couple sessions, to see if we can get any more clues into this action, right? So pretty cool stuff there. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. So S&P futures, guys, it's kind of starting out with an inside day, down 12 points. So they're pretty serious here about being, a little bit negative here on some stuff. So having trouble getting over this geometric line, right? So this is one of the important levels that we've been tracking here today. This tight DTL, right? This is technically a DTL right here. From the highs. But this geometric line breakout today got that momentum move to the upside, come back, retest the 15-orb high, push its way up here. We still haven't gotten over the recent downward trend line, right? We pushed up to it at the end of the day and pulling back off of it here. What does that mean? Well, it means that we may still be in a fresh downtrend. And that retracement that we were talking about, this potential wave 4, sub-wave 4 pullback right here, is basically right off of the 382. Or it could mean that we're working on a bull flag right now. We're going to break out of this thing tonight or tomorrow morning, and this thing could really get going, right? So that's really kind of the big thing that we're tracking here going into tonight. So pretty cool stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the topic here. So the topic today is what was that blip in the stock market today? Right, so what happened in here today? Why did it just go blip, 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 and then just kind of finish working its way up? Well, the answer is Fed minutes. So the Fed minutes happened today, right? And this is, it's kind of not really a joking matter, right? Normally, the Fed minutes are a non-event, right? And so typically, what we see with the Fed minutes is a whole lot of nothing, right? It's either a boring day or it just continues to trend its way up. So why was today different than other Fed minutes days? I really don't have a clear-cut answer on that, and maybe I have a reasonable answer on it. But most of the time, like I said, I tweeted it out publicly today and in our group. I said that, hey, look, the Fed minutes are coming up. Normally, this is a non-event, right? A lot of people think that the Fed minutes is Fed Day, right? That we're doing the FOMC meeting, the rates are coming out, we're gonna have a press conference, and all that. No, today's just the minutes from the last Fed Day, right? But sometimes in those minutes are buried verbiage that can trigger moves in the market. And sometimes when you've been trading for a while, you get a little spidey sense of what's going on, and it really seemed like the market was waiting to get some more, like trying to dig some information out of that the Fed minutes today to look to see whether or not the Fed was hawkish or dovish or bullish or bearish on the market, right? So ultimately, what happened was after the minutes came out, the TNX, right? The 10-year rose. Look at that big spike in the 10-year. This thing's been choppy for a while. We put this in the bubble report because this has had a kind of a big effect on tech names recently, right? So a big spike in the 10-year is a little bit concerning, right? So that's one of the things that happened here today. And we also had the dollar, right? The dollar also made a big move there too. So that was another interesting one as well. If you just take a look at the euro, right, USD here. Right, you can see kind of an interesting move here as well. Got a nice down move there through that, right? So that's pretty interesting as well, right? And also GLD, right? So you take a look at gold or the GC, right? So through that move here today, got a pretty wild day today, right? So pretty interesting stuff, right? We got a big drop right here in gold. So very, very interesting. It's like more into the dollar, more less in the gold, that type of thing. So if we go to the DXY. Right, so there's a lot of pieces moving right here. So big push on the U.S. dollar, right? So after those minutes came out, so very interesting, right? Very curious. So it wasn't just the stock market itself that had the blip. There was a lot of things underneath it that were moving too that could affect the stock market, right? So these algos really jumped all over these Fed minutes today. And really, what was the big thing that they saw? What was the big thing that they saw? So that some of the Fed governors, as part of the minutes, right? So obviously they were cautiously optimistic, right? So that word caution, right, is always one to kind of make some movement, right? And then some signaled that they'd be willing to discuss scaling back bond purchases. And that was kind of like the little line out of there that was a little bit different than the last Fed meeting that kind of changed things a little bit, right? So if you go back to the SPX here or the SP futures throughout the day, right? So once those minutes came out, right, we got a really steep drop here out of nowhere because we were trending up, really just kind of grinding up here today, right? And then suddenly there was just a down move, right? So that was the quick interpretation of that, right? And then the optimistic words or things like that, right? Got a big spike again with the rest of the with the 10-year, right? And then the gold, right? You got a big move off of that one, right? So you got a nice kind of inverse move there, right? And then it gave a good push up right here, but then it was like, wait a second, no, wait. Then it reinterprets it. It's like, wait a second, this is bad, right? So what's pretty interesting is just the levels that held today. Right, and these are the kind of levels you pay attention. So a lot of times after the Fed, right, you'll see a quick reversal, right? You'll see a big drop and then a quick reversal. A lot of folks like to trade that, right? But what's interesting that happened today was we had this, and then we had that, right? So it's kind of interesting stuff right here. Not a harmonic move, right? Because the AB wave kind of all the way took out the XA wave or the XA move, right? So this is just a very, very interesting day today, and that we kind of gave a heads up to everybody out in public Twitter land and in the group with that this might be a little bit non-standard for the Fed minutes today, and it wasn't, right? So and it's kind of interesting here too that after even that big push up into the close, lots of shenanigans, right? We're kind of drifting off of it here into the end of the day. So we really need to see what the futures are up to tonight, and if they can give us any sort of feeling of bullishness, like some confirmation over the downward geometric line here, or if it continues to be bearish and wants to come basically back to the scene of the breakout, right? So definitely stuff to keep an eye on here going into tonight and into tomorrow. So that was it, guys. That was the blip in the stock market today, but I think it's pretty interesting tying together the 10-year gold and also the euro, which is pretty interesting there too. So good stuff, guys. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. At this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. Good, good, good. All right. So bullish bearish trades. What's going on? You're number one, top of the list today. I love it. So let's take a look here and see what we got. So you got JMIA. Definitely an interesting one to keep an eye on here. This is on my bullish radar going into today, but it's such a tough name to be bullish on. It just is, every time, not ever since the massive right cup and handle breakout. I mean, textbook cup and handle breakout back here. Remember this one? Cup handle. Boom. Ever since that, right, it's kind of been, well, it's actually also had a textbook head and shoulders breakdown, which is weird, right, because head and shoulders normally don't play out. But it's been tough, right, to basically see if there's any chart patterns happening, right? So we looked at a double harmonic right here that never triggered. We continue to make these lower lows. We had this big candle here off of earnings and just kind of blah. So what's kind of interesting about this name, right, is recently Citron. Andrew Left, you guys might have seen him talking about it on Twitter. Was talking about JMIA and was like, oh, this thing's gonna get bought out, and it's awesome, and blah blah blah. I mean, he's basically just trying to trying to salvage his position, and so we'll see. We'll see what it goes, right? So he did make a couple good arguments on it that they're developing market share, things like that. But ultimately, it comes down to the chart and if we're going to get any push on this one at all. So it looks like it's kind of struggling a little bit of an upper shadow here. We're still over the ADMA. Volume is kind of tapering off here after earnings, right? We had a big spike here again on Citron Day, and then it's no go, right? So. So we'll see how that goes, right? All right, see if we can keep riding up the 80. Again, ideally, I'd like to see this thing get over the cloud, over the 50-day moving average, and kind of get going again. But it might take a while. It might take some accumulation there. So we'll see how that goes. The VIX. Yes. So the VIX, guys, very, very interesting here today. Again, huge spike the other day, right? And we got a quick reversal off of the next day. Today we liked going in today. We were generally short going into today. We had a lot of good ideas in the group last night. I shared them on the public video, the public market video yesterday, and all of them got some great follow through this morning and ended up being phenomenal for a nice overnight, right? So strong VIX yesterday, weak market today, right? And then the market kind of plowed its way up, and the VIX kind of turning into a shooting star candle here off the 200-day moving average. So. It's definitely something to be concerned about. It may continue to drift its way down, but what I like about it is that for the bearish, I guess, side of things, what I like about it is that it's above this range again, right? It looked like it was going to come back down. Like if we were here for about a month or so, underneath the 20 level, and everybody's like, what's going on? I guess everything is awesome, right? And then boom, right? So now we're back over it again, and it just shows that it's alive and well, right? And definitely there could be action in the market. So we've got that going on. So we'll see how it goes. But interesting shooting star candle. Wouldn't be surprised if we continue to fade a little bit, but we'll see what happens going into tomorrow with those futures down here so far. Qs, guys, a lot of whoops reversals today where you gap down and then you come right back into the prior day's range. So we saw that on the Qs today. We saw that on a lot of names today. So nice one on there. Square. Again, similar, right? A lot of whoops moves on this one here. A lot of names didn't take out prior lows too, which is actually kind of interesting. So Square, decent green candle on that one, still below the 80-day and the 200-day moving average and the 50-day, right? So a little bit of blah there. And CRM, strong move today, right? So we've been talking about this one in the group this week, and it was kind of one of our expectations that this would work its way back up to the 618 in this range, and then possibly make a move back down to the bottom of the channel. It seems to have kind of, outstayed its welcome here, but with this move, but with the potential move. But let's see how it handles the 618, possibly the top of the channel. Earnings coming up pretty soon, right? And then see if it works way down. The whole software sector was pretty decent today, so nice inside day up, back over the 50-day, increased volume, right? So see how it handles this level, essentially the top of the channel, and then you got earnings. So anything could happen there. It'd be interesting to see if they talked a little bit more about their acquisition of work, right? So of Slack, and see how that's playing out, right? So pretty interesting stuff there. Great charts on that. I love it. Good stuff. And Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's take a look at these here. Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Thanks again, Bullish Bearish Trades. So ADI, look at this one here. Big move here after earnings and basically a bullish engulfing candle. So see if that get above the 50-day there for you. PAVM, let's take a look. So PAVM back over the ADMA, kind of declining volume. Not really too exciting about that one. But SPWR, guys, this is a good one. So SunPower, a lot of solar names were strong today, right? So it was a strong sector today, and we also had increasing volume here over the ADMA. So let's see if that can get going here too. And then IIVI. Let's take a look. So IIVI with a strong candle here, increasing volume back to the 50-day. So let's see if that can follow that. MCHP. Let's take a look. MCHE microchip technology, I love it. Again, semis were strong too. Semis and solar names, strong sectors today. The other one was software, right? And then nice bullish engulfing candle right here too above the ADMA. Looks like we got ex dividend coming up tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes after that. So good stuff. Awesome show. I really appreciate it. And Ali Wally, what's going on in the VVIX? We just looked at the VIX with the VVIX. How about the volatility of the VIX? Isn't that interesting, right? So it tends to move kind of to hand in hand. One of the things that we like to track in the group is the IV of the VIX. We like to chart that. You can chart implied volatility, right? So if you go to the VIX here, one of the things you can do is look at the imp-vol. I like to call it the imp-vol. So just you go here, right? And this is kind of interesting, gives us an interesting gauge, right, of what the actual, the volatility is, the implied volatility or the volatility of the VIX itself, right? And one thing that is interesting to note is that we have not been below the 90 level in like well over a year, right? And so it's very, very interesting, right? When we're in this range, when that volatility is like nice and low, right, in here, a lot of times we see some pretty strong action, right? And especially below $1, but we've been pretty elevated here for a while, so it's definitely something that we track to see if we're really just kind of, bull market trending type stuff. So good stuff there. But yeah, that's the significant. I mean, the same thing with the VIX, right? So the significance of the spike was just show volatility is still alive, right? So I love it. Good stuff there. OTAS CRM, we just looked at this one here, but look at the 618, also off the channel. Earnings coming up pretty soon, and software is pretty strong. So just kind of see how it handles these levels and where we go from there. AMD, one of my favorite names going into tomorrow. Just a beautiful bullish engulfing candle on that one, right off of the trend box lows, which you can't see in this diagram, but here you can, right? And I mean, just a nice potential reversal candle on that. So let's see if we get any follow through the upside. I really would like to have seen a little more bullish action at the close today to get motivated about this name, but for now it's on the radar going into tomorrow. But good stuff there. And then the Qs, of course, right? So tech today, again, very, very similar with what we looked at here again. Whoops, reversal back into the cloud and into yesterday's range. Oh yeah, all good stuff. Then Nast, what's going on? Let's take a look at Wix. So Wix with a nice bullish engulfing candle on this one too. So let's see if we can get back over the ADMA and get going on this one. And I hope you're doing well, by the way. And wow, with an inside day today. So again, back over the ADMA. Let's see if we can push above there. LRCX, another semiconductor name, not as easy to trade as AMD, but certainly a strong engulfing candle here today with increasing volume. So let's see if that can get going. Tree, let's take a look. So lending tree, yeah, inside day up here, increased volume. Let's see if it can see. I like the volume that's coming in on this one. I really do. This is impressive, right? So if you kind of just zoom out a little bit here, I mean, this is pretty good volume, right? You had a lot of selling volume here. You had a little bit of volume here, some volume on the upside. This is some pretty heavy volume that we've seen here. So there may be some accumulation going on there. I definitely think that's something to keep an eye on. One of the other things, too, that we talked about when we did our Wolf Wave series was the increasing volume around pivots, right? And so what I really like is the high volume at this move down here, and especially this, right, off of an inside day and a doji. That huge type of volume kind of indicates that there could be a reversal happening, right? So really, really cool stuff there on Tree. So just a nice little tidbit on that. But yeah, let's see if we can continue to work its way up. It looks like they've been accumulating there. It's hard to hide, right? Elephants can't fit through doorways, right? Like my friend likes to say. OLED with a potential doji sandwich up, right? So right over the ADMA. Let's see if it gets any fall through the upside. Good stuff, then. Really appreciate it. Albert, what's going on? PSTI, let's take a look. Nice, I love the avatar. Yeah, so let's take a look here. So PSTI, yeah, kind of hanging in there a little bit. It was a penny name. I think we talked about this one not too long ago. But this one is a kind of looking a little bit falling wedge-ish, right? So we got this, right? So let's see if this thing can get any volume and get out of here. I don't trade biotechs, but I know some folks love them because they can give some explosive moves, but I don't know if they're working on anything, maybe FDA news, get things going, that type of stuff. So, but really, really cool stuff there. 2020, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. IQ. Guys, one of the names that I also don't trade this name anymore, or Huya. Right, so this one had a move after earnings and kind of hanging in there with the inside day, but the volume's really dried up on some of these original Chinese hype names from a couple years ago. But pretty interesting stuff. I mean, inside day, I think they had profitable earnings, so they had good earnings. So we'll see if it can take that inside day up and kind of get going there. DKNG, this name has just been struggling, but it is possible, right? And Paul would probably love this chart. that it's working on kind of this wave 2 pullback, right? A, B, C type pullback right here. So one of the things that I know he would like to see here is maybe a golden zone retrace right here, which it looks like we have right here. So keep an eye on DKNG with the golden zone bounce. See if we get some follow through, at least to get up to the 80 MA on DKNG. In fact, I like that enough here because of the that I know the way Paul looks at charts that I'm going to add that to the bullish game plan for tomorrow in addition to AMD. I love it. So good stuff there. DKNG. Cool. And then GMBL, let's take a look. Another kind of gambly type name. Let's take a look. So inside day here under the 80 MA sandwich between the 200 and the 8, right? So see if we take that up here again. Had a little bit of a, kind of earnings type thing, but let's see if we can get going off of that. So good stuff there. And Ken, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at Google. So Google, guys, strong green candle. Whoops, reversal on this one today. But look what happened after hours. Big spike, right? So I don't even think this is on here yet, but apparently Waymo, they're looking at spinning off Waymo $4 billion or something like that. So that got a little bit of a spike after hours on that news. So see if that gets any follow through the upside there. So, but strong candle day, back to the 80 MA. Let's see if we can I'd really let it see it get back above that 2310 level. But good stuff. John, what's happening? Good to see you. So PayPal played out great. I know I loved your wave count on that last night. That was fantastic. Really, really nice move on that. And then boom, perfect bounce right there. Really, really good job on that one. And then Tan, the solar names were great today as well. Yeah, beautiful sector. Good stuff. Yeah, nice engulfing candle on that one. The SPWR, like Shirley mentioned earlier, was really, really great. And then UPST, tricky name, right? So, after last earnings had this explosive move, this earnings was kind of like a little bit of a letdown, right? And then a little bit of volume coming right here. So nice engulfing day on this one. Cleared a lot of these levels. So I think that's worth tracking to see if this thing gets any more upside follow through. Maybe it could work its way up to this, 144, 140 level. Okay. So good stuff there. And so Albert following on Twitter. Nice. First time to see the YouTube channel. That's great. Awesome. I really appreciate you tuning in. Any pull up from the hole for Tesla? So Tesla, Albert, we've been bearish on this name for a while. And the reason is because it's below it's this macro downward trend line. It had a chance here, but once you see a sharp move down, the first thing I think of is zigzag, right? So an Elliott wave, that's a 5-3-5 move. And so once you see that, right, and you can start tracking these zigzags, you'll be like, oh wow, cool, right? So you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your 5-wave move, and then the next bounce A, B, C, right? The C wave got just above the upper trend line, forming a trend box right here, right? So what we wait for bullishness is confirmation with increasing volume above this box. But you notice what's happened here since earnings. No volume, right? No volume since earnings. It's just been blah, right? So it's just been drifting its way down. And so 5-3-5. So here's your 5, here's the 3. 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's still working on. 3 got a little bit of a bounce today. It might be trying to make a move. Let's take a look. Here, but yeah, we've been bearish on this one for a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so wave 5 is a symmetrical move from the start of this zigzag wave. And a lot of times zigzags like to be symmetrical right back to the open gap and what we like to call bow and arrow support here at the center of the triangle, right? So this is a very, very interesting target for it. And Tesla's been following this wave count very nicely. So it got a little bit sketchy in here for one day, right? So Roku had earnings, right? Tesla had a kind of wild move right here. But this was a kind of an epic move and ended up holding pretty well on this retrace right here. Did not intersect across the start of the wave 1, right, or the end of wave 1. So pretty cool stuff here. Still tracking Tesla down to this open gap and this bow and arrow support. And then from there, they can do whatever it wants. So it can work its way back up to 5,000, right? So, but so far, we'll see how it goes, right? Otherwise, right, we are at this level right here. This is an interesting level. It's kind of basically the bottom of the trend box. If we do confirm below this level, or if we tag below this level, what that'll do is basically just shift the trend line and get rid of the trend box, and we're back in a total downtrend, which is kind of interesting too. So good stuff there. So how to trade with you, shares or options, live day trading chat. Yeah, so I'm in the, so if you check out the links in the description, we've got a options group where we have our Discord. So I go live at the open through Zoom and point out ideas at the open. And then throughout the day, we look for setups to see if anything's going on. Ideally, throughout the day, there's a couple things that we like, triangles back to the 80 MA, or, some really big volume, that happens this year, or some major news moves, that type of stuff. And then we go live at the close and we look for swings, right? And so yesterday we had some great overnights into today. Like we had Home Depot short, which was a pretty epic. I mean, just about anything short, but we were pretty bearish going into today. So Home Depot is one beautiful gap down today on this one after a pullback off of earnings report. City Financial gave us a huge gap down here today, and then the other one we liked was Schlumberger. Right, and that ended up staying down here today. It was probably one of the best names there too. So pretty cool stuff as well. But yeah, that's what we do. So check it out if you want. We'd love to have you. So but either way, feel free to keep hanging out in here until you're ready. So whatever you like. So good stuff there. Messy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at snow. So snow with a nice engulfing candle today. It's not bullish engulfing because it's in the middle of its way up right here, right? But it's still a pretty strong move. And we liked snow the other day. It had gave us some nice movement and still looking pretty strong here. The only thing it's missing here is a little bit of volume, right? So all good. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Awesome chart requests and questions this evening, as always. Oh, Bob, what's going on? Wix. Yeah, this was an epic day today. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at Wix. Bullish engulfing candle today. Beautiful move right here. Looks like it's got room to get up to the 80 man. We'll see if we can push its way higher. Yeah, so very, very nice move on this. Good find on that. Good stuff, guys. Well, once again, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and also hit the notification button so you can see when we post videos throughout the day. We do a good morning market prep video, lunchtime video, and a market wrap video. As we also post other cool technical analysis videos as well. So definitely do that, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and check out our group. The links are in the description. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys bright and early for Bubble Report members and the folks in the Discord, and here for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And we'll talk to you guys soon.